Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the CW Clinic. My name is Christopher Warnes. I am your host. I'm also known as CW and Chris. I'm known as many things. However, most commonly, I'm known as Chris. And I welcome you to my show. Thank you for joining us. If this is not your first time with us, welcome back. If this is your first time with us, I welcome you. I welcome you to a show that I developed to help you save time and money through all of my mistakes that I've made throughout almost my 13 years of self-employment as an entrepreneur, starting and building 5 companies, gross revenues of over $1 million at a very low average sale price of about $100, which is pretty good to say the least. And I've learned a lot of shit along the way. And this show is developed to teach you these lessons that I've learned that have been painful, that have shed tears, that have even shed some blood, heartache, lost time, and lost money. So you can apply these lessons to your life and help you dominate your day, win at life, be wealthy, be prosperous, be abundant, and you know what? Just be fucking awesome. So with that cuss, I think it's fair to say that I am vulgar. I do cuss. I tell it like it is. Your feelings are not my responsibility, and they never will be. This is 2020. If you got a fucking problem with how people talk to you, take that shit to a fucking therapist and unpack that shit there, because it's not their fault that your ego becomes wounded and you get triggered. It's your fault. Now, at the same time, I'm empathetic and I understand. However, this show is straight to the point, and I might say things that will upset you, but that's the point, because if you can get upset, that means you can be moved, and if you can be moved, you can be taught. Fundamentals of marketing, fundamentals of really life is understanding what is important to us, understanding how it is important, adapting, learning, and overcoming. And on today's show, we're going to talk about the difference between failure and temporary defeat. The difference between failure and temporary defeat. Before I get into that, let's talk about our sponsors, Warrior Consulting, my consulting company, a company that I've developed to help mentor and business coach anyone willing to be taught by me. If my message resonates with you and you want to work with me one-on-one with life and or starting and building your business, you can get a hold of me in the show notes. It will teach you exactly where to go. I'll give you my websites, I'll give you my social medias. Shit, I would put my phone number out if I wouldn't get spam calls all day. It's my 5th company. It's my favorite thing to do. My purpose in life is to teach, and I want to help teach you. Next week, we'll talk a little bit about the difference between purpose and passion. This week, we're going to talk about failure and defeats. Okay? This is a heavy topic, guys. This is a huge difference between failure and defeat. There is no such thing as failure unless it's accepted as such. Every defeat is temporary unless you give up and allow it to become permanent. In fact, temporary defeat often makes us stronger and more capable. Each time we try and fail, we learn something, and it helps us prepare us for eventual success. Only in the classroom is there a single correct answer for every problem. Life is not a classroom. However, you are taught on a daily basis. If you try an approach that doesn't work, try something else. When you view adversity as nothing more than a learning experience, your success in life will far outnumber your failures. To be successful, learn to distinguish between failure and temporary defeat. Guys, a couple of things that I brought to light here are someone in particular that I think we should talk about when it comes to failure and defeat. Einstein practically said about himself 99% of the results he came up with to be considered wrong and a mistake. What we as people would classify as a failure. But the 100th time he succeeded. Thomas Edison tried more than 10,000 times before he found a way to create the light bulb. I'm sure that people like Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, they made plenty of fucking mistakes, but they were never defeated. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it a seed of an equal or greater benefit. Before success comes in any man or woman's life, he is sure to meet with much temporary defeat and perhaps some failure. When defeat overtakes a man, the easiest and most logical thing to do is quit. This is exactly what the majority of men do, or women, or gender neutral, whatever. Okay, it's not specific. More than 500 of the most successful men in this country 500 of the most successful men in this country has ever known told the author Napoleon Hill their greatest success came just one step behind the point at which defeat had overtaken them. Speaking of Napoleon Hill, I want to read a couple of things to you out of one of my favorite books of his called The 15 Laws of Success, written in 1925. Let's distinguish failure and temporary defeat. Let us see if that which is so often looked upon as failure is not, in reality, just temporary defeat. Moreover, let us see if the temporary defeat is not usually a blessing in disguise because it brings us up with a jerk and redirects our energies along different and more desirable lines. Strength grows out of resistance, and we shall learn in this lesson that the sound character is usually handiwork of reveals and setbacks and temporary defeat, which the world now calls failures. Neither temporary defeat nor adversity amounts to failure in the mind of the person who looks upon it as a teacher that will teach us some much needed lessons. As a matter of fact, there is a great lasting lesson in every reversal and in every defeat. And usually it is a lesson that could be learned in no other way than through defeats. Napoleon Hill goes on to say that at certain turning points in his life, I thought I had made a dismal failure. But now I know that what looked to be failure was nothing more than kindly unseen hand which halted me in my chosen course and forced me to redirect my efforts along a more advantageous path. Guys, I come to you today to teach you that failure is only if you accept it. More often than not, what you are going through are just temporary defeats, however you think you failed. You have not failed no matter how often you are told You only fail if you accept it as failure. A defeat is much different than failure. A battle lost is not losing the war. You losing your job and your wife or your husband is not failure. It's just a temporary defeat. Don't ever accept defeat. Look at it as a stepping stone to the next piece of good, to what is aligned will come to you. You will manifest all that you think about. Don't fail. Don't accept failure. Don't roll over. Don't fucking run and hide. Don't crawl up into a ditch. What you need to do is stand and fight and think that you will be okay. Each and every one of you are powerful. Each and every one of you have the ability to accomplish all that you dream of, no matter how many defeats you go through. How many times did Thomas Edison fuck things up before he got the light bulb? 10,000? And you're gonna beat yourself up over a mistake that you made? No, fuck that shit. Push that pussy fucking snowflake shit aside. Stand up and fight for what you want. Don't accept failure. It's only a defeat and it's temporary. Failure is only in your minds. Get it out, kick it out, and keep fighting. Take it from me. I've been defeated more times than I care to admit. More times than I can count on one hand, two hands, and 2 feet. Fuck some defeat. Fuck some failure. Learn from it and move on. Guys, you are all powerful. It is your birthright to be wealthy. Each and every one of you is a good human. Harness it. Learn from your defeats. Never accept failure and move the fuck on. I'll catch you guys next week with some more heat. Next week, we're going to talk about purpose versus passion. It's going to be a good one. And it's probably going to be a little longer. So, for this week, go out and kick ass. Buckle up. Take the jabs on the chin. Take the punch to the stomach. Understand the defeat. Never accept failure. And work fucking harder. Let's go.